Well, apparently self-destruct switches weren't just for Bond movies. For today, I watched The Bride of Frankenstein. I've been trying to get better about filling in the gaps on the classic movies, and the Universal movies were always a big weak spot for me. I honestly haven't even gotten into the Hammer stuff yet either, so that would be the next one once I finish these. I watched Frankenstein and I did like that. I noticed, I don't know if it's a James Whale thing or if it's literally just the Universal not giving them enough money to actually resolve anything, but both of them, Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, just end. It's very abrupt. Some things are resolved, but it's not, it's very just like, and we're done. That was a little rambly. This one starts off with immediately after the first one with a weird sort of framing device that we never come back to, where it's Mary Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and Lord Byron essentially like telling stories again. Gavin Gordon, who plays Lord Byron, has this bizarre affect in his performance where he's just rolling his R's like he's afraid he's going to forget how to do it if he doesn't keep doing it. I don't know if this is a accurate thing for Lord Byron. I've never heard of it before. I thought it was a weird performance choice myself. But she starts the story saying, oh no, at the windmill, that wasn't the end, because we, of course, get a recap of the first movie if you didn't see it and just jumped in here. Henry, not Victor, but Henry is alive and pulled out, and he's getting ready to leave after actually getting married this time. And then Pretorius shows up, who is apparently a professor of his at school, but comes off more like an ex who you had an abusive relationship with, and you were both kind of addicts together, and that's kind of what kept you together. And Pretorius just kind of like pulls him back in through like guilt and force at a certain point to try this again with his own research, which involves little tiny people in jars, and it never really goes as to why that would help anything. They do sort of say that he grew these people from genetic material, and that they use that to grow a brain that goes into the bride. But like Pretorius is just kind of like this mincing, like pinch-faced caricature. Like he's almost like a male witch. Like if you put the hat on him, he would look like the Wicked Witch of the West. And he's really just a bastard, like to everybody. He doesn't interact with anybody in a way where he's not a complete prick or manipulating them in some way, shape, or form. He's obsessed, and it doesn't even really go anywhere, because at least with Frankenstein, it made a little bit more sense, because it was like something he'd been working on even in medical school. He had this idea. He'd been going over this for years, and we don't see that with Pretorius. We're just told that these things happen, so it doesn't really hit. Honestly, the best part of the story is with the monster, when he's out on his own, and he makes a friend, and that whole scene is actually really tragic and sad and incredibly heavy-handed with the Christian allegories and the crosses that just light up for random reasons. I won't go through the whole thing, but it is worth watching. It's a little over an hour, actually, like a lot of the Universal movies are. I think that's part of the reason, like, it doesn't really have a resolution. It's good. It's actually an interesting watch. It's just, I wish it could have been a little bit deeper. I know that Bride remake is actually supposed to be coming out in the next year or two. So that could be interesting to see where they go based on this. In the meantime, I will be back with another one tomorrow.